Welcome to Wyoming Country Living, where the skies stretch wide, the porch is always open, and the critters just keep coming. We're Kim and Chris, empty nesters who traded East Coast hustle for the wild peace of Wyoming. Each week, we're tackling homestead projects, wrangling our growing animal crew, and learning to live the country life one adventure at a time. Be sure to hit that like button and follow along so you don't miss a moment. And stick around till the end for our front porch question of the week. We're saving you a seat.
Okay, so here we are on our 250th anniversary Independence Day camping trip on our land up by Casper as we decide whether to keep it or try to sell it. But as most people would want to do on their camping trip, first camping trip of the year after spending the last months doing construction and plumbing in our basement, I have to do plumbing on the trailer because when we took it to get winterized last year, it had already been kind of cold and I hadn't drained it. And so they claimed at Camping World that the kitchen faucet was damaged because it had frozen. And so they had to replace it. And when we got here and turned the water pump on, water started pouring all over the place under the kitchen sink. And it does, I guess it appears they changed it, although I'm not sure enough water pressure is getting to it to be sure yet. But basically when they put it back together, they lost or forgot to put a washer in the hot water connection. So there's no water there where the hot water line coming from the water heater connects to the faucet. There's no washer in there. And so water just comes pouring out of that fitting. So now we're going to have to go somewhere later and find a washer so that we can turn the water back on because, you know, we're camping, but we're not camping because, you know, Kim's like, oh my God, I can't use my water. I'm like, the 18 bottles of water and gallons of water we brought for the dogs, but that's not good enough because the toilet won't flush. We don't have the pump on, so I guess we're gonna go look for a washer later. In the meantime, we're gonna sit here and bake because it's hot as crap and sunny. But as soon as I put the awning out,
I know, notice the wind stopped.
a fucking tornado blew through and was trying to lift the whole stupid camper away. So I had to put the awning back. And as soon as I put it back, it went back to being Sahara-like. So.
Although, here's the wind map. Looks kind of spiky.
So that's what we're doing. We're sitting here pondering whether or not to maintain the property with this nice view of Casper Mountain, keep it, and come here a couple times a year and camp on it, and hope we don't get fined by the Nazis that run the HOA up here. Because even though you're allowed to come camp on it, you can't leave your camper parked here for months on end, but they'll drive by and after you've been here for 2 days, they'll send you a fine saying you've been here for 6 months or some bullshit. So a lot of reasons not to buy property up here, but if you want to buy property, hit me up because I might sell it to you. But I don't know. It's very nice here. The nearest neighbor is like a mile away currently, although the people next door seem to be starting to maybe do something there. But yeah, if you didn't have to deal with the, you know, fascists, it would be very nice. But apparently no matter where you go, even in rural Wyoming, people want to tell other people what to do when they live miles away. You can't even see their property. So people suck. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, we are taking, what is this called? Muddy Mountain Hike?
Yeah.
Turning, and so I'm not on camera anymore. This is our first hiking adventure with Rip and River. Teddy's a pretty good hiker. We picked this trail specifically because it's kind of off the beaten path and there's supposed to be very few people, although we did see a couple here when we first got here. So we're going to go in the opposite direction of them. And it's, I think, a 3.5 mile hike in through some trees and stuff. So here we go. Well, it's been some time since we've done any outside projects, and today is going to be a beautiful day. So we are going to do some work outside, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of updates about some things that have been going on outside. So first, if you could see behind me, we have decided this year to not cut the grass. There you are, Bill. Been wondering where you were. And an attempt to get rid of some of the sandburs. So one of the things that I read about sandburs is that they like sunlight. So last year when we cut the grass a couple of different times, it allowed the sun to penetrate the ground. Lots of farm sounds here this morning. It allowed the sun to penetrate and get to the dirt, and I think spurred on. I'm gonna go somewhere else where these dogs aren't. All right, maybe that's a little bit better. They're all barking at Bill because Bill was out for the night and just came home, and so even though he's lived here for a year, the dogs still throw a fit. But so what I learned is that the sun getting to the ground allowed the sandburs to really flourish, and so we really had lots of sandburs last year. So we let I'm not even going to say yard because it's no such thing as a yard. We let all of this greenness grow this year, which as I walk around, it does certainly appear that there are fewer sandburs at this point in the summer than there would have been last year. However, it's driving me crazy. Being from the Northeast and Midwest where people have beautifully manicured lawns, this is a lot to get used to. But if it's going to keep the sandburs at bay, I'm willing to do that. However, today, what we are going to do is use this area behind me and create a fenced in area for Rip. So I have satellite collars for both of them, for Rip and River, and River stays pretty close. I don't even have the shock collar part on hers. I just have the voice or the whistle, the beep. But she sticks close. I just haven't had time to work with Rip because I have a collar for him as well. And right now he's chained out front. They are not dogs that should be chained. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a little fenced in area here by the back door of the house so that when we have to have other people come and let them out when we're gone for like the Wyoming football games, or if we're just gone to see Alex and Katie for the day down in Boulder, somebody can come let them out and not have to worry about keeping Loki and Rip apart. So that's the project for today, which does mean that I do have to cut the grass where we're going to be putting the fence. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. But the other thing to give you an update on, this has been kind of sad, is that we lost one of our goats this week. My favorite goat, Penny, the little bitty one. We don't really know what happened. She was fine when I put them to bed, and the next morning when I went to let them out, she was dead in their house. When Chris removed her body, he believes that her neck was broken. So she was much smaller than the other goats. We're thinking it was some kind of accident through the night, whether they rammed her and just hit her against the sleeping shelf in a weird way, whether they knocked her off the sleeping shelf. We don't really know. So that's kind of hard. Never in a million years did I think that that was a consideration, or I would have built her own little house, because she was absolutely my favorite. So that's been kind of rough. So Aiden and I spent the other evening, mostly Aiden. I needed his muscle. We put her, made her a little grave up by Ted, but it's been kind of hard because losing animals ever is hard, and we've now lost 3 in a very short period of time, 2 barn cats and now Bernie. So that's been a little bit rough, but Chris and Aiden keep saying that I'm not equipped to have all of these animals, and I think they're right. So I was toying with the idea of rehoming all of the goats. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but yeah, so it was a rough week. So now I'm going to make a nice area for Rip and let the other goats out and enjoy this beautiful day.
All right, so good morning. Because Kim has ADHD and can't finish a project without starting 10 other ones, we're starting a new project today. So initially we built that big fence area out there for the dogs, except that now Loki and Rip don't get along, and Rip is too big and can destroy that fence, so he can't be out there. And if he gets left alone and unattached, he wanders off to Nebraska. So we built this one so that they could be closer and be let out at night, except that everybody except for Loki, or except for Sky, can escape from this one too. Loki jumps over it, Rip and River climb over it, and so now it's not being used either. So now Rip's being chained up out front on a long lead, except that he's not the brightest bulb, so he's constantly getting himself wrapped around the porch posts and the hydrant for the water well and everything else. So that's not the most ideal either. So yesterday we went to the store and we bought these 4x4s and these 6-foot tall fence panels. So we are going to build fenced area out back here, where Kim has just mowed all our weeds. Basically right here, we're going to build a 24 by 24 foot area around this door to the garage, so that Rip and River can come out here and be in this area without getting wrapped around things, and hopefully without escaping when not being constantly supervised. And I guess the plan eventually is to put a dog door in that door and allow them to get into the garage, and we're going to set up some kennel area in there so that on days when we're not home for long periods of time, we don't have to worry so much about them being stuck inside in their pens, that they can come in and out as they please and go to the bathroom as they need to, without having to have somebody come over all the time to let them out. So, but today the immediate plan is just to build the fence. So we bought the stuff to do that yesterday, Kim's very anxious to get started on it today. She's been mowing and now she's weed whacking. Looking very angry about it all. Teddy is angry about something because she's always yipping. Not sure why. This chicken is over here because it was getting bullied by the other chickens, getting pecked on and eaten. So it's recovering. The rooster's still over here by himself because he can't behave. If Rip gets out of the house or off his leash, this is where he comes to try to eat both of them. Of course, he can't get to them because they're in these cages, but still freaks him out. River does not bother any of the other animals except for the goats. She just chases them and wants to play with them. Bill here is recovering because he was out about and exploring all night, probably fighting for his life, running for his life against the coyotes because he hasn't learned a lesson from his brother and sister that got slaughtered. But he's back recovering now and chilling out on the top of our future vanity for the basement bathroom, which we may finish one day. All right, so I just finished putting fuel in the tractor. I got to go take the box blade off and put the auger on. We got to mark out where these posts are going to go so I can drill holes for those. We have some concrete that we bought for the chicken coop posts that we didn't use because then we bought special like post setting concrete. But so since we have these bags, we're going to use them at least to start for setting these posts. And then I don't think that we have enough to do them all, but I guess we'll use as much as we have, and then we'll figure out how much we need to go buy to do the rest. So I'm going to go spend half an hour changing implements on the tractor. I really decided that you need to have a tractor for each implement, so you don't have to keep changing all the time because it's a pain in the ass. But Kim won't let me buy 8 tractors, so because she's so mean. But yeah, I'll be back after I'm done with that. All right, so as suspected, after a long time, I got the auger on the tractor. I told Kim I'm pretty sure I'm just too stupid to be a farmer because there's got to be some trick that I haven't figured out on how to change these implements faster, because if you had to go through as much pain as I do every time I do it, nobody would ever eat, or else they all have, you know, a tractor for each purpose and don't change the implements. But I even bought like a quick connect thing that's supposed to make it faster, but right, it doesn't work for this because this connects differently than most of the other implements, so you gotta take it off. And the older ones like the tiller and the disc harrow are older things that I bought used that don't really work with it either because the shit's not quite lined up right. So, and like the box blade, when I put it on with that attachment, it makes it sit back a little bit farther, and so I couldn't never get it at the right angle to drag appropriately and get everything cleared like I did whenever I just had it directly attached. So I think that was basically a big waste of money because it's not even that quick, because you always have to undo a bolt on there for the big hook because it doesn't fit correctly. So whatever. But if any of you know, right, if there's some trick that I'm missing on how to get these things swapped out faster and easier, because then when you got to attach the PTO, you got to like crawl under there, and it's always a pain in the butt to get the thing onto the shaft and all this other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe that's just how it is. That's why we should have more respect for farmers and what they do for us, but it's a pain. So anyway, we've got this marked out where the posts need to go. So right over to the other side of the door there. Now the chances of me digging this hole this close to the house that makes it close enough that the dogs can't get through here and yet doesn't destroy the siding of the house, I'm skeptical about. And I'm pretty sure I looked over here Right there's the clean out for the septic line. So that's where it's coming out of the house. And the septic tanks access things are back there. Fast Kim to the left. So we should be fine here. Putting posts in the ground, but I guess if we're not, we'll find out. But I don't foresee hitting anything. So utilities coming in from this direction. Propane tank comes straight over to that other side of the house. The electric comes in from that water and from that side onto that side of the house. So other than the septic line, there's nothing running from this to this side of the house. So all right. I don't know whether to start with the ones by the house when I'm fresh and invigorated and not pissed off and ready to get done, or whether I should start with ones farther away and get back in some practice of drilling holes and then move on to the ones by the house. So thoughts, dear?
I think you should start on a side, and then if that goes well over there, then come this way. Like practice on those couple. Right, so your third hole is by the house. If it goes well, then you move to this side and come this way.
All right, sounds like as good a plan as any. I guess we'll try to maybe put this on the concrete pad over here. So all right, it'll probably be 3, 4, or 5 videos before you see this one because I'm way behind on making videos. I made one last night, but it's been a while. So.
Just me and you. Sandy beaches, waves so high. Summer love, let's touch the sky. Dance, dance in the summer heat. Feel the rhythm, move your feet. Sun and sand, so sweet. Summer days can't be beat.
Okay, well, thrilling update. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes drilled, but we tell they fucked up our auger. Oh, screwed up. Sorry, YouTube. After we did this one here, it's got stuck a little bit, and when I pulled it out, the top of the auger blade was all looking like this, which obviously is not correct. And I frankly don't know if we hit something down there that had bended, or if I did it over there by the house against the footer or whatever of the garage, and then didn't notice it till it was over here and it was screwed up. Whatever, it was in there and didn't want to come back out. Finally got it out. And this one was stuck for a good bit and finally got it out. And then this one here, this corner one, was really stuck forever, and I had to keep trying to back it out and move it around, and we finally got it out. But it's even more like originally it was just messed up down to about here. Now it's farther, but it's also completely bent, so I really can't use it anymore because when you turn on the PTO, it flops all over the place. So we got 3 more holes to drill, and we don't have a usable auger. Well, I mean, luckily the expensive part of it still seems to be fine. It's just the bit. So I don't know. The boss over here is angry because, well, that's her default state, but she had convinced herself we were going to build this entire fence today, which was never, ever in the history of the world going to happen. But I did think at least we'd get all the holes drilled and maybe most of the post sets until we ran out of concrete. But now, unless we bring Aiden up and tell him to get going with the post hole digger to dig these other 3 holes, or we go buy another bit, and then I take 3 hours to change it. I don't know what else we're going to do. So, obviously we can try to set the ones that we drilled.
You said we didn't have enough cement anyway. So let's set what we can, see what we need, and then we'll go to town.
Joy, love going to town. It's wonderful. That's why I decided to live way out here, so I could go to town every freaking day. Use the $100 worth of gas. All right, well, let's go see what we can do and whatever. It's all crap. This is some bullshit.
Hey.